Do you know of a stellar leader or an outstanding organization that deserves a proper shout-out? Nominate them for IBJ's awards. From 40 in their 40s and Women of Influence to Nonprofit and Healthcare Excellence Awards, we're celebrating rising stars, seasoned leaders, and organizations making a difference. Discover which programs are accepting nominations now at ibj.com/nominate.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. I'm Alex Brown. INCOG BioPharma Services, a Fishers-based company that makes pre-filled syringes and cartridges for pharmaceutical companies, said today it will invest an additional $200 million to expand its operations, including the construction of a third building. CEO Corey Lewis says the 5-year-old company just needs more space.
We've got plans to be able to move into a third building to replicate more filling capacity. So today we have 2 filling lines installed. Our third filling line is scheduled to get delivered in Q2 of 2026. And with this next opportunity, we'll be able to bring on 2, if not 3 more filling lines by 2028.
INCOG currently employs just over 400 people in Fishers and plans to have nearly 1,000 people working at the campus by 2030. Starke County is now officially the 4th Indiana county to pause data center projects. Our partners at WSBT-TV report the Starke County Commissioners unanimously approved a proposal Monday night to put a 12-month moratorium on hyperscale data center projects in place. County Attorney Justin Schramm said the goal of the measure is to get a better understanding of the parameters needed for data centers and the impact such projects could have on the community. The University of Indianapolis today announced a $2 million gift from the R.B. Annis Educational Foundation to establish an endowed professorship in engineering. The school says the gift will help bolster its commitment to prepare students for STEM careers and develop the state's workforce. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.
A mix of public and private investment is driving developments in Du Bois, Spencer, and Posey counties to help alleviate the regional housing shortage. New apartments such as Poplar Ridge in Huntingburg and subdivisions such as Farmington Ridge near Poseyville are under construction and expected to be completed within the next 2 years. Jonathan Blake, executive director of the Spencer County Economic Development Authority, said these micro developments are impactful for both families and businesses in bringing the workforce closer to industries.
One of the first things we hear when we talk to a potential business is, what quality of life measures, what workforce is available here in the community, and why should I invest there? And when you have a housing stock that is pretty full, that can be a challenge to attract new businesses. So these types of investments are critical for the county, and they're critical for every community. But, this type of investment is really kind of the shot in the arm, if you will.
Colton Pippinger, executive director of Du Bois Strong Economic Development Corporation, said communities need to start finding ways to incentivize affordable housing that people want, while also trying to expand market pressure so that houses are priced accordingly and people can afford to live in those communities. A proposed settlement agreement resolving the ethics investigation into former Indiana Secretary of Public Safety Jennifer Ruth Green would impose a $10,000 fine and no additional penalties, according to a document released today ahead of this week's vote by the Indiana State Ethics Commission. The commission is scheduled to vote Thursday on whether to approve the settlement, which would formally close the ethics case that stems from allegations of ghost employment and misuse of state property brought earlier this fall by the Indiana Office of Inspector General. Under the agreement, Green admits to violating Indiana's political activity rule and the misuse of state property rule, as well as to certain factual allegations outlined in the Inspector General's ethics complaint filed on September 12th. In exchange, the commission would agree not to impose any additional sanctions allowed under state ethics law, like more serious fines and even barring a person from future state employment. A historic Vincennes candy shop is celebrating 70 years of making sweet treats and serving West Central Indiana. Charlie's Candies is located in the home of the original owners that was purchased in the 1950s. Co-owner Lorinda Ellerman says the company reached its goal this year of shipping products to all 50 states.
We also have a lot of out-of-towners. Again, being here 70 years, people that have moved or people that have been to Vincennes University and were introduced that way. And so we have shipped to every state now.
The company's 70th anniversary celebration runs through December 31st. Sports writer Mike Chappell is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.
Off the Record with Indiana's 250 most influential business and community leaders is a podcast that peels back the curtain on Indiana's most respected leaders, one episode at a time. Go beyond the headlines and hear the stories of grit and innovation that shape these leaders. Do you want to know who's driving our state forward? This is a must listen. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts or at ibjpodcast.com.
Do you want to know what really drives change in Indiana? You won't find it in sound bites, you'll find it in stories. Stories from CEOs, lawyers, coaches, entrepreneurs, and community advocates. That's the IBJ Media Podcast Network. Insightful, local, impactful. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcast.com.